I'm here with Maria of Future Palace to talk about Run, out right now on a rising empire. First of all, thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy. It's release day for you guys, but you still made some time to talk to me about this record. So I just want to start off by saying thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. So thanks a lot. That's totally. Oh God, I forgot the English word. I want to say selbstverständlich. That means that it's of course I'm here. So
Oh
thanks
well,
for having us.
I can learn German, and if I'm going to learn it through you, I don't think I can ask for a better teacher.
Awesome. Yes, let's learn some German in between. I'll throw in some random words.
Feel free to throw any random words that you want. All I know is schnell and das Auto. That's pretty much all I know.
Did you say schnell?
Yes, that's schnell and das Auto. That's all I know.
Awesome.
That's it.
Okay.
So you can tell that I wouldn't go very far on this interview if I start speaking German, because that's all I could really say. But you feel free to throw in a German word here and there. I'm all cool with that.
Nice. Okay.
So
Good
before we
to
talk
know.
about the album, let me ask you about the tour that you guys have been on. How was the tour? How did that go?
Yeah, it was just a few weeks ago. It still feels like it was yesterday. I'm still relaxing from it or kind of trying to relax. There's no time, but it is crazy for your body what you do there. I felt it with my entire body and my voice, of course, as well, because we had two tours after another with 2 days break. That's why it feels like a huge tour. Like it feels like one entire block, even though we had breaks, like little breaks in between. But all in all, it was actually a mind blowing experience, especially after these past 2 years. And also, especially because we've never really toured before. And that was our first time meeting our fans or seeing that we actually have fans and it's not just numbers, and seeing people wearing merch and buying so much merch and it's supporting us, singing along. And that was honestly everything or beyond everything we were expecting, honestly. Not just saying it like that, but that was honestly beyond our expectations. And even though we were a support band, so many people already knew us, and that was such a compliment to us. And I hope we made some new fans as well. And yeah, we really enjoyed every show, honestly.
Wow, it sounds like it was a great experience. And following up that experience with releasing Run, I have to ask you, in terms of growth for you guys, what do you feel like this album achieves that you guys weren't able to achieve with the previous record?
I think it already achieved so much more than Escape ever did before even being released. So now we are just like, what's gonna happen next? Because this already skipped so many steps Escape was never able to reach. Not because I think it was just because we just started out as a band. We don't exist for that long. I think officially since 2018, which is honestly not that long ago. And then Corona happened. So it wasn't easy for Escape to shine as much as it maybe could have, because yeah, first album, then the pandemic, and so on and so on. And I think so many things happened. We had our first ever radio spins in America, for example, in USA, and that's one big thing for us. That is crazy. And then the Billboard, it even reached the Billboard charts with, I think, Defeating Gravity, which is absolutely insane to even think about.
Yeah.
And yeah, so many things. And then also the YouTube videos, the music videos have been seen so much more than all the other ones, but we've also put so much more, I wouldn't say much more effort, but we had way more abilities and experience for Run. And I think it's just like a more mature version of us, a more authentic version of us, because Escape was like a learning process to us, and Run is actually something we can proudly 100% present and say that's us. And that's everything we were able to do with our budget we had, with the time we had, and we really put everything into it. So it is nice to see that it gets the attention that we hoped it would get, and even beyond that. So yeah, so far it's already crazier than we thought, and we are just excited to see how the next weeks are gonna turn out. Honestly, we don't know yet, and we saw today we hit the peak of streams. We can check how many people watch the or like listen to the album on Spotify for artists. That's an extra app, And today it peaked. Like, we never had that many listeners, and this is already crazy enough, honestly. Yes, we're really, really hyped today.
Well, I can imagine. I mean, the excitement of the album and all the success that's coming with it. I mean, you guys have tons of
Hmm.
reasons to be excited and to be happy about what you're achieving. When you look
Yes.
at the creative process as a band for Future Palace, how challenging it is to go from the idea of what you want the album to be and then actually creating the album that you wanted it to be.
Yeah, it is always interesting because making an album is such a long process. Before I ever made one, I would have never thought about or imagined how long it takes and how much you have to think about and how much work it is. So you might have an idea at first, and I had a few ideas. I had mood boards and everything. And actually, in the end, of course, a lot was still in there, or a lot actually happened, but also many things changed within the process because it's such a long time, and then you get new ideas, or you see, oh, this isn't possible, and that is not possible, or this is not in our budget, we have to kind of improvise. And that's more the reality. You have to kind of adapt to your reality, what is actually possible. And I think everyone would love to go even crazier than they could. I think every artist, and then they get back to reality and see how, yeah, how much that costs, how that would be, is that even possible time wise and everything. And I have crazy ideas, and it could be even more dramatic for me. With the wings, they could have been bigger, and everything could have been more dramatic for me. But I'm still happy that most of the ideas worked, because sometimes it seemed impossible for some ideas to make them happen. But yeah, after a while, we tried to make everything happen as much as we could, and I am now satisfied with what we created. I think we did honestly the best we could with everything we had, and the time we had as well. We did many things in a short amount of time, worked with a lot of people, but yeah, it is interesting how many steps you have between your idea and then the creation, because you are not the one that's creating all of it. Many people are involved, and many brains will process your idea, and then interpret their own way into it. So the videographer does it different, the photographer does it a little different. Then the stylist, or like set designer, we had for a few videos for the album cover, we had her doing the wings and my headpiece. I love to do things myself because then I'm sure I can do one on one with my idea, It's like, this is exactly my idea. But then when people come there, they will also add their flavor, which is also sometimes cool because now we have a probably different product than if I would have done it all myself, or if the guys would have done it themselves. And that probably makes it better because they know what they're doing, And yeah, I'm pretty glad that we had many cool people working with us. And I hope in the future we can go even crazier and
Bigger
crazier.
wings,
And yeah.
bigger wings.
Yes, exactly. Bigger wings, and I don't know, like me flying or something. And then I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, we already did
Lasers,
as much as we could.
all sorts of crazy stuff. When I was listening to the album, I very often I reflected back to the title of the record, "Run," and I was always left with this question in my mind: is this title a representation of you running away from something or towards somebody?
um, Actually, good question. I I wouldn't say towards somebody, but more towards something. I'm running towards peace. That's what I would say. Peace, and peace with myself, peace with my life. I don't know if that actually exists, like 100% peace, but let's say more into the direction of something called peace. And yeah, because it is, as I think I mentioned that in a few like written interviews, if somebody has read this, or maybe you even, it's about the aftermath of like toxic relationships, mental illness, and escape, for example, was more written when I was still in situations like that, and then I had to escape them first of all, and run is the next chapter. You are running, you are already leaving, or you already left all of these situations, and but you're still running. You're still, and I mean running because you're still confronted with all these wounds. You still, or you just understand that you're actually hurt. You see your wounds for the first time, and you feel what you actually felt, or notice that you actually have depression, which for a long time I couldn't even feel. And that's what Run is about, all the aftermath. And I would say I'm still like, still running away from the past and running towards the future, which is once again like the future palace theme and paradise theme and all that, running to a more hopeful, better future. And that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much the title.
When you have an album like this that has that kind of connotation to it, that has that kind of starting point from an inspiration point of view, from a lyrical point of view, does that make it a little bit difficult to go through some of these songs? Does that reopen some of the wounds, or does it heal them?
Hard to say. I think once again, since it's been such a long process, of course, a lot happened in between, and then there are new now life changes as well. Like in 2 years, we did it last year. We recorded these songs. I wrote them already. I think almost the year before, like at the end of 2020, probably. And a lot of time has passed since then, and it is more like a confrontation, but also a reflection of where I've been in these states of my life. And it's important to not forget how you felt at these moments. And I wouldn't say it reopens these wounds because I've been confronted with it so long now. I did like the music video ideas, and like involved in so many processes that included my own, I wouldn't say destiny, or like my own past, that you kind of, you don't get indifferent about it, but you get kind of okay with it. You know, you like, you understand it's a fact, and it doesn't hurt anymore at some point, or not as much. And some days I think life is mostly the moments when it could open again, but mainly I think it actually helped me healing and process all of these things that I've been through. And also the guys have their stories that they've been through. And to me personally, I think it's helping more than anything else, because yeah, it's just honest and it feels right. And actually, it's so cool to make something nice out of it, to make art out of it. It's like the best thing I think I could have done with all of these experiences. Yeah.
And that leads me to my next point, which is the album sounds very fresh. It doesn't matter if you're listening to the record for the first time or you're listening to the record for the 100th time. It always feels like you're listening to the record for the first time. It has that
Oh,
sort of
cool.
brand new smell to it. It just it always catches you off guard. It has such a great sound, great experience. Does that come
Thanks.
from that organic inspiration from your life, from your experiences, or is that more of a sound related feature?
I think it might be a mixture of both. Because first of all, it's maybe fresh and interesting because genre-wise, we are extremely open on this album. I
Mhm.
think we have already been that always, also on Escape, but we really didn't have any borders or restrictions when it comes to genres. We did every idea we wanted, and if it works, we reused it. We had like a little bit of opera singing and Sleep Tight at the end. We had rap in there, like not real rap, but like spoken word singing. We had screams, we had clean singings, more ballady songs. Everything is in there. And then also like not Limp Bizkit vibe, but if you listen to Locked, the intro is like a completely different style. And we played around with vocal production as well. We had a few like stylistic things in Flames, of course, for example, or Loco Loco, when we would dehumanize the vocals, if I could say so. So I think every song has a unique touch to it, and that might be a reason that it's not getting boring to some people because it's so diverse, I think. And that's what we wanted. That's what I love. And it's still us, but like really different little chapters and stories within this album. But yeah, and also we wanted every song to be single potential. We wanted every song to shine as much as it could. There was no song where we were like, that's just the in-between song to chill, but we wanted every song to be the best it could be. And maybe that makes it more exciting to listen to because it should feel like listening to singles, but they kind of blend in together nicely and have different touches to it. And yeah, I think it is mostly production that helps with this, but also the writing, and because that was also our idea while writing, that this is how it's supposed to sound. And of course, one other thing could be that we had two producers working on it. 6 songs were done with Julian Bröcker. The other ones were done with Christoph Wischorek and from NSOK in his studio. And they are two different producers. I mean, they have a similar style, but both of them have different things they're maybe better at than the other, or like more experience with than the other. Like Julian has a lot of pop influences, and he can build crazy electronic parts. And then Christoph is really good with all that emo, screaming music and like melancholic, I think. And both of this gave different kind of touches to it, because yeah, we did like Loco Loco with Julian, then we did Paradise with Chris again. So it is a completely fresh wind, if you could say so, on this album.
Does that make it more challenging for you guys when you're putting these songs together in the concept of the album, in terms of what goes first, what goes next? Because there's so much diversity. It's hard to find the right path, if you will.
Mm. Yeah, it wasn't a concept album really, but at least this time we knew we were writing an album. For Escape, we released 2 songs or 3 songs already, and then got a label deal, and they told us to do an album with these released songs already. So we had to kind of build it around, you know. And for a Run, we knew this is gonna be an album. So first of all, that made it a little easier to have it sound more like they're all belonging together. And we were able to think about things beforehand. And it's still not a concept album. I wouldn't call it like that. It's like a diary. That's what I would rather call it. But so I like a diary that was written in, let's say, in like a few months. So you can tell this was the same life experience, but every day was a little different. But you can still tell this is the chapter of my life this was written in. And it was, I think I did the order of songs. I mean, I talked to the guys, but I think it was easier than I expected, actually, when I was looking at it and then I listened through it and I noticed many similarities in songs sound wise. And in the end, I didn't find it that hard, actually, to put them in the right order. And I think it works pretty well how I now ended doing it. And to me, also, the message was really important, that the final song is Fever, which is a positive note, that people leave this album with this nice, hyped feeling, with this feeling this is going to be better. And this is, once again, what Run is supposed to show you. Run is starting, or maybe let's say it like this: Run is starting in the beginning with Paradise, running away from your past, and Fever is the next Run chapter, running towards your better future. And this is what my idea was. You go through anger, maybe, then sadness, and then in the end you feel hopeful again. So I was more thinking about the lyrics as well, but also the vibes of the songs.
When it comes to your voice and your vocal range, what part of your vocal range are you most comfortable with, and what part do you feel like you need to work a little bit more on?
Good question. I think, phew, I don't know. I think actually I improved after doing the album. I got so much better at screaming now, I think, than I was when I did the album, because I just learned it. Like, not just learned it, I did screaming sounds already a few years ago, but I was never a screamer. And I just learned doing this many screams or singing such long phrases, screaming such long phrases while doing the album. And now, when I listen to songs like Locked, the C part, I think I could do it better now. I think I sound a little exhausted, but that might be something people like. I don't know. I think that is one thing that I improved with, most logically, because I just learned it, and now I did it after touring, and I did it. I have so much more experience now. For singing, I don't think I would change that much, because I was pretty confident with singing. When the pandemic happened, I was singing every week and improving and improving, and I was really hard on myself with the way I sound. So, with these 2 years, I actually expanded my own skills and learned better higher tones, like the mixed voice. I was really, really, really working on that to be on my top when I do the album. So at least my clean vocals work. And I also, of course, practice screaming, but that was such a short time compared to how long I sing, that I would think the most criticism I would give myself is on the screams, I think. Because, yeah, I was pretty confident with the cleans, I think, yeah.
One last question for you, and that is, from a fan's perspective, we get to see you on the record. Well, not see you, but you know what I mean. We get to hear you on the record. We have a little piece of you on the record. Fans
Mhm.
get to see you on the road performing live on a tour, but what the fans don't see necessarily is what do you do for fun when you're not on the tour or when you're not recording an album. What does Maria do for fun?
Oh, good question. I'm someone I'm never bored. Never. I have like a crazy full mind and there's always something to do for me. I have so many project ideas and I'm always actually like busy but not in a negative way. Like I do a vocal lesson sometimes that's not really for fun. I always think how can I combine fun but then also use my free time to kind of still earn like money so I can be comfortable when I'm on tour and don't need to worry about my life, you know. um, but for fun, I like drawing, I like photography, I like makeup, I like hair, like dyeing my hair, I like decor. I can't even stop. I love watching animes, and I used to cosplay back then, and I do Twitch streams. Pretty often I try to do. That's also fun. I used to do YouTube and all that stuff. But yeah, that's actually always something to do for me. And of course, I love meeting people I love. That is really important because life is short.
Yeah, it sounds like it sounds like you're super busy. I mean, I don't think you can find time in all of that to fit anything else. Like I think
Yes,
you need two assistants just to help you with
I need them. Oh my God, I would love to at some point. I am actually always, I'm not sure if it's my head or if it's my life, but then when I look at my calendar right here, it's insane. Like I have two part-time jobs or like I don't even want to start. We do a lot, but passion keeps you going. When you love something like this band, and music is of course fun to me as well, but especially it is like I need it. It's like when I feel bad, I go in the rehearsal room and I sing my heart out, and I feel so much better. And this is what helped me so much at this shitty pandemic time. Doing this album really, really helped us so much. It was a therapy for ourselves, and now I hope that some others might get the help as well from the album. Yeah, so
I think they definitely will because there's definitely a personal message with it, and that's easy to connect with when there's something like that on an album. Well, Maria,
oh,
thank you
thanks.
very
Yeah,
much for your time. Say hi to everybody for me, and best of luck with the release. Keep yourself busy,
thanks.
and I hope to see you guys at some point in time in North America on a tour, hopefully. So keep my
Awesome.
fingers
Yes,
crossed.
hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. Take
Hopefully
care.
really soon.
Yes, I hope so.
Thanks, you too.
All the best. Bye.
Bye bye.